Actually, let me put my glasses on. Let me figure out how to do this, because I know whenever I hop on here, they always do that thing where it's like, oh, this is your top chat. And I'm like, show me the whole chat, please. Oh, God is great, God is good. Let's thank you for our food, bars, we are fit. Thank you for day bread, name is pray, man. Because I would forget to pray when I'm streaming. I'm sorry, y'all. I did not eat breakfast yet. And I'm hungry. Hey, Mark. How you doing? I'm eating strawberries right now because I didn't eat breakfast. I'm gonna wait till a couple more people get in here so I can start talking about the dating advice stuff. Hey, girl. I know the feeling. I'm hungry too. I was gonna make breakfast and eat it on here with y'all, but I was like, you know, that's doing too much. That sounds really good. Strawberries always gonna get me, you know what I'm saying? I was about to eat a banana, but I would have to cut that up because I know how some people be playing around talking about eating bananas and stuff, and I don't need nobody saying no sexual jokes. You know, But how y'all doing? I've just been sitting here lurking. Girl. But I do have like, I think I have 7 Reddit posts that I found, but I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of them because I don't even know how long I'm gonna go live today. I know I need to edit. Can y'all hear me chewing? I swear my jaw is so thin. But anyways, so what dating advice do we have on schedule today? All right, the topics are: if a man is genuinely interested, he will approach you, in quotations. Do women really believe this? Why do some men use pet names immediately? Please stop telling people who have never been loved to just stop worrying and live for themselves. Please compliment the men that you date. My ex coming back made me realize how much you build up people in your head. Do people honestly think putting misleading photos of themselves on dating apps will end well? And she canceled our date because of my zodiac sign. Those are the juicy topics that I found that I wanted to talk about. So, but yeah. But how are y'all doing today? Before I start yapping. Because I basically got up like an hour ago. And like I got ready, washed up and stuff, but I don't know, bro. You know, these past couple of weeks have been a lot of socializing, and I'm kind of over it already. Even though I know usually summer is very much, you know, talking with people and hanging out. I want to be by myself. It's too hot. I don't know if it's hotter this year or what, but it's too freaking hot. And being in the heat pisses me off and makes me sleepy. So, I don't know. I have not been feeling very sociable in person. But going live is fine. Like, I'm supposed to go live 2 times this in July. I'm trying to keep up with going live 2 times a month. And it'll probably be Thursday, Friday, or Saturday in which I go live. But I did get my go live on TikTok, so I'll probably let y'all know because I'll more than likely be more active on TikTok and go live on TikTok yapping. Specifically because I'm trying to grow my TikTok for the first time ever. TikTok is hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. Yes, I can't stand summer heat. Listen, the way I have a fan, because I'm not about to be playing around. I don't like the heat and I don't like the bugs. Like if it was just 50, 60 degrees the whole time, I'd be cool with that. You know what I'm saying? Because I really don't like heat at all. Hey, Ariana girl, how you doing? Hello, Steven, how are you? I'm fine. I'm just snacking. But all right, I'm about to get into the topic of the day. Listen. I'm gonna need you to yeah, you just out of here because I'm not about to play. I'm not about to play with you, okay? But you get blocked. That's what happens. Have a little decorum, please. But anyways, we're about to get into the topics for today, okay? So the topic is, in quotations, if a man is genuinely interested, he will approach you. In quotation. Do women really believe this? It says, I was just reading a post from a woman who is stating her belief that if a man doesn't approach, that means he is uninterested. And conversely, if he has any interest at all, he will definitely make a move. I find this fascinating because it is so completely false. For most men, 99.9% of the time, when he sees a woman we are absolutely interested in approaching, we don't, unless she's given some sort of clear signal that she's open to being approached. And even then, a huge percentage of men are clueless to their signals. Girl, people just be... I ain't got time to be playing around today. I'm gonna just block. Many guys are shy or introverted. Plus, there is the fear of being rejected. The biggest fear of being a labeled creep, the hashtag #MeToo movement, or wanting to respect her space, being told repeatedly not to approach in public, etc., etc. How is it possible that so many women are oblivious to this reality? So, what do you guys think? Do you guys believe in if a man is genuinely interested, he will approach you? Let me know in the comments before I start talking. Because personally, I know from, okay, so I've had male friends over the course of forever, I guess. I definitely don't have as many male friends now because of, did I ever make a video about that? I don't really have that many male friends now. Like even before me and my husband started dating, like I didn't really have, I had male friends, but a lot of them fell off because I realized they were kind of moving weird. Hello, Jason. How are you? I don't think so. Sometimes they'll just look at you and walk away. This is true. Yeah, as a man, I would approach a woman I like. So, personally, I feel like I kind of agree with this post because, like this person said, many guys are shy or introverted. There's this fear of being rejected. Now, I'm not going to lie. I feel like a lot of men, actually, people in general, because I'm not just going to say men. a lot of people have a fear of rejection, which I completely get. Being rejected is trash. I'm not gonna hold you. You feel real uncomfortable, you get embarrassed. Not a fan. Most females are stuck up to begin with. I mean, it just depends on the type of women you approach. I won't say all women are stuck up, but I will say I feel like a lot of us have up a barrier where it's kind of like we just don't know what type of time a lot of these men are on. Because I'll tell you right now, when I was single, I very much, when somebody would approach me or if somebody even glanced my way, I instantly would look away because I'm like, I don't really know what to expect with men. Some men are very aggressive, some men are very like pushy. And especially if you by yourself, you just don't know what type of time these men are on. Like, you really don't know how to even navigate some of these situations either, to be honest, because sometimes it could be scary if you by yourself and somebody approaches you or if somebody is staring at you. That's one thing I did not like. I really did not like when I would be out somewhere and men would stare because it made me uncomfortable. I'm like, if you gonna look at somebody, say something. Don't just stare them down because it feels like you're going to what's the word? It's like it just feels like I'm a prey and you're a predator. Like, just say hi or give a compliment or something because it's very much gonna making me feel uncomfortable. Honestly, yeah, it's a big fear for me being rejected. But actually, online dating is big now. You're kind of getting to know someone before you meet. See, and I can completely understand that. And I'm not going to even act like I know how the online dating space is now because beforehand, I never actually went on. Actually, no, that's a lie. I did go on online dating sites, but I never actually met anybody off of online dating sites. However, I did meet people off of Twitter, off of Facebook, and I think that was it. I was very scared of online dating sites because a lot of it is oversaturated with people that just want to boink at this point. So, I really wasn't that comfortable with doing that. Plus, a lot of people will say, oh, I'm looking for something serious, or they trying to for real date somebody, but then you end up realizing as you are talking to them, no, you just want to take somebody and hop in a sack. You don't really want to date somebody for real. And, I feel like if you're going to be on an online dating platform, you need to actually address what you're there for. But a lot of men, and even sometimes women too, like, they'll hop on there and they'll act like, yeah, I'm here, I'm gonna act like I want something serious, but I just want to boink. And that's unfair to the people that's actually trying to be serious. So, but when it comes to in person, I don't know, because I'm gonna be honest. I feel like a lot of the men that approached me were arrogant. I do feel like a lot of the men that approached me were very arrogant. Now don't get me wrong. There were some men that like approached me in the past where I could tell they were nervous, and a lot of times I would give those nervous people a chance because sometimes they were the better pick from the people that actually came up to you all confident and were arrogant. But a lot of times, a lot of women just don't be wanting to be bothered because they've been through so many awful experiences of dating where they're just looking at the guy like, yeah, I'm sorry, I'm just keeping to myself for right now. But it really just depends. I do feel for men though, because y'all basically got to deal with getting rejected all the time and just hope it lands. But I think it does depend on the space you in, because I don't know. I feel like if you somewhere out and about, depending on where you are, it could potentially be easier. So for example, if you go into a festival, or if you go into a concert or something like that, it would potentially be a little bit easier to approach different women because there's so many different women in that space versus like, let's say you at the grocery store. Now, I have heard it's a couple people I know that have met their significant other in the grocery store, but you know, I don't know. You do have to be confident about your approach. Like if you see somebody and you find them looking attractive, go for it. And I even say that for the women as well. Right? It's sad that's all they want to do. Girl, listen. Dating rough. I can't even. I think I have a topic that I'm gonna talk about in relation to my experience, but dating has always been a rough experience, especially, and I don't know what happened between now and like a little bit pre-pandemic, like 2019, but for some reason, I guess that lockdown got people acting real wild now, where they just upfront with it, where it's like, oh, I took you out to eat. Now, because I took you out to eat, let's, go back to my place. How are you expecting somebody to do something just because you paid $30 for their meal? I don't understand it. I really don't understand it. Like, I've seen so many people talk about the experience of men expecting something just because they paid for a meal. Like, what type of people were you talking to before, bro? And that's why I always recommend to women, I always say, like, if you just meet somebody and just going on a first date, even for the first 2-3 dates, do not let them know where you live. You do not need to have them picking you up. Literally try to find a way to get there on your own and a way to get back on your own and a way to pay for your own self, because a lot of these men will be expecting something. Now, back to old 21-year-old me was like, let's do it the first night, but now I changed for sure. See, and I applaud you, Mark, because actually, no, I don't applaud you because you should have been doing that. But I'm gonna just say I'm glad you learned. Listen, you live and you learn, you know what I'm saying? But I will say, in reference to the topic that I was talking about originally, because y'all know I get off topic, but I will say that I do think women should be more, I won't say aggressive, but I do think if women see a man that's attractive, they should speak on it. Because, again, like they said, a lot of men are shy, are scared to be rejected, are scared of being labeled as me too. And I did a video about this where I talked about like where to meet men at. I'm probably not going to make no video about where men can meet women because there's a lot of predator men out there. But I do think women have an easier time of potentially talking to men if they just compliment them. Because I know from my experience, even though I'm an introvert, I'm not going to lie to y'all. When I was single, I wanted a man so bad. I'm not even going to hold you. I really did. And I don't know. Actually, I do know why I was like that. But I really wanted to be with somebody for real, for real. I really wanted to have somebody. I wanted to settle down. Didn't want no kids. But I did want to have somebody that I could call my own or whatever. So I'm not going to say I was going like bay hunting, but I would go out and I would have a good time. But if I saw somebody that was attractive, I would watch them for a bit, like not on some creep energy, but I would just lurk a little bit like what he got going on. You know what I'm saying? And then after a while, me watching whoever it was, eventually I would be like, okay, I'm going to just compliment something they got on. You know, something simple. I would just say, oh, I really like your shoes. Those are nice. Where'd you get them? Or I would say, what did I say? I don't know, because, one of my go-to moves, and don't judge me, because I did have specific things that I would do where, like, if I saw somebody attractive, I would accidentally bump into them, like, and drop something, like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry. And they would help me pick it up, and then they would meet my gaze. I'm not gonna lie, sometimes that would work, and then sometimes the guys would be oblivious. But, you know, I was horrible, to be honest, but I will say, when you, I know, listen, sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't. But I will say, I think it's easier to just tell somebody or compliment somebody on something. I know with men love a good compliment. So, especially because they don't get complimented that much. So it's just so easy to be like, you look very nice. Or, actually, no, don't say that. Just be like, if you see somebody attractive, you could be like, oh, no, you can't say that. I'm trying to think of stuff to say that don't sound where it could lead into something more intimate, because, you know. But normally, okay. Thank you, girl. It's a wig, okay? Not too much on me. I know I need to get a new one. But anyways, hey, Blurbatic. How are you? People really be trying to comfort me by way. I know it's bratty, okay? I just don't want to show y'all my real hair right now. But anyways, long compliment, not weird gesture. One person did store weirded me out. Hey, so loud. Man, thank you, girl. I appreciate you. But I know, like, I don't know. I feel like it's just easy to be like, oh, you know, them shoes fire. I like them shoes. Or to be like, you know, sometimes you could just say, hi, handsome, and just keep it going. Because I know it was some few times where I said something similar, where I would just see somebody and I would just greet them with, hello, how are you doing? You look nice. And I would just keep it moving. And then if somebody actually wanted to talk to me, they would follow behind me, or they would, you know, keep the conversation going. It was just like real simple, but I'm not gonna lie, it didn't work that often. I feel like a lot of times the men did not realize I was actually trying to talk to them. They probably thought I was just being nice, which, you know, that's fine. But I'm like, if I ever say anything in the past, if I ever spoke to a man, if I initiated it first, it was normally me just sending a filler out. And if they bid it, they bid it. And if they didn't, they did it. Because I feel like, again, if a man, you know, if they actually wanted to talk, they would say something back. Dry his be ones, get ones, get. Man, like, don't get me wrong, some people will be dry, but I'm just like, listen, if you the one that I'm supposed to be with, obviously you would bite. For example, my husband, I did a video about this, but we went to high school together, right? But we didn't really not know each other because the high school we went to was very big. Very big. We didn't have any classes with each other, but we knew of each other. And whenever we saw each other, we would say hi. Now, we did not start dating until almost 10 years later, because we were friends on Facebook, and I was going through a period in my life where I was like, I need to get out the house. I need to try doing more things. And I basically dropped a Facebook post where I was like, hey, I'm about to do karaoke for the first time. If anybody want to go, come out. And surprisingly, a lot of people came out, but I think it's only because I rarely got out. So people were like, oh, Jasmine want to do something. Let's go. So a couple people, I think I had like 12 people come out, which surprised me. But I had people come out, and he was one of those people, and he brought some of his friends. And we ended up hanging out. And then we started hanging out consistently every freaking weekend. And then eventually he was like, you know what, I think I like this girl. And he asked me, he was like, hey, I know we friends and we've been hanging out and it's been cool or whatever, but, I wanted to know if I could pursue you because I didn't know, like, I don't know what steps to take. And he was basically telling me, like, if you don't want to talk to me, like, that's fine. I'll still be friends with you, but I just wanted to know what steps I should take moving forward. And I appreciated that because I never had any man say that to me. Normally, and I'm going to do a video about this in the future because normally whenever I've made friends with people in the past that were men, or I won't even say made friends, whenever I would meet a new guy, they would always express to me, oh, I'm friends. Oh, I just want to see if we could be friends first. Or they would say, I'm just trying to fill things out, let's be friends or whatever. And I'm going to tell you right now, because I feel like this is where a lot of men mess up at. Do not say that. Do not tell a woman that they want to be friends. Like, don't even put a label on it, because I know in my case, and it could be because of how I'm very literal, whenever a man told me, like, yeah, I want to be friends, I'm like, okay, bet, you in that category. I will never look at you the same. I will never look at you as I am attracted to you. But that's how I operate. I don't know if other women operate like that, but I don't like what I did. Excuse me. Let me drink some water because my saliva. But I never liked when men would put a label on things because it was given. They were trying to get the book on me, and they were trying to, like, figure out stuff about me to try to potentially date me or get in my pants. You know what I'm saying? And I never really liked stuff like that because then they would be looking at me sideways like, well, I like you now. And I'm like, well, you said you wanted to be my friend. And they're like, well, yeah, I wanted to get to know you. I'm like, well, you should have said you wanted to get to know me first because I don't cross that boundary. Like, that was one thing about me. And I feel like because of the way other people date, in my head, I'm like, if someone tells me you're my friend, I'm like, okay, I'm not going to cross any boundaries with you. I'm not going to flirt with you. I'm not going to do anything that's like crossing boundaries because it might make you feel uncomfortable. And I will not see you that way. But a lot of guys would take it as, oh, I'm getting to know you. And I'm like, okay, well then say that. Just say let's get to know each other. Don't put the friend label on it, because when you do that for women like me, I'm thinking, okay, that's a boundary that does not need to be crossed. Also, my thing is too, is like, friendships can build over time. So I feel like there's no reason to put the label on it. If I see you as my friend, I'm going to see you as my friend. And then, if we dated, we dated. But when you actually explicitly say friend, I'm like, okay, usually with a friend, you do not cross certain boundaries. But I feel like a lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people be flirting with their friends as well, which is a completely different issue. Because there's nothing wrong with flirting with your friends if that's what you want to do. But if you actually trying to talk to somebody, I'm like, don't put no labels on it, because especially in the beginning stages, because again, it's like, for me, I was like, I don't want to waste no time. So I'm not going to look at you that way if you're not on the same page as me. Like, I don't want to waste no time, and I'm trying to find a freaking man. If you tell me you want to be friends, bet. I ain't got to consider you. I will go and find me somebody else. We could be friends. But then they would be looking at me sideways like, oh, but I thought we was getting to know each other. I'm like, yeah, we were, but you said you wanted to be friends. That's not what I meant. Listen, get out my face. A dope story right there, and Elise was honest with you from the jump. Yeah, and a lot of men are not honest. I'm gonna be real. Like, from my experience, a lot of men were not honest. They would try to act like they just wanted to be cool when really, again, they were trying to get the book on me, trying to get to know me. Some were even trying to manipulate by getting to know me. So it's just easier when men are direct, in my personal opinion. Honestly, I feel like a lot of women prefer direct men, specifically because it's like you get so much anxiety and confusion when you don't know where you stand. So meeting somebody who actually is direct with you is so freaking refreshing, because it's very rare that men are direct and honest about their feelings. Oh, I like this story. He's very respectful. Yes, he has always been very respectful. Like, even before we started dating, he never crossed any lines with me. He always established what boundaries, because he did not want to make me uncomfortable, which I appreciated, because, again, not too many men are like that, unfortunately. Dope and honest take to be honest. Just true friendship over time. That's true. Right. And for example, we have some people that we know where they'll explain, like, I want to be friends first. And I'm like, I completely get wanting to be friends with somebody first. However, do not say that in the beginning. Do not say, let's be friends first. Or do not say, like, I want to be friends. Like, friendships will build over time. You don't have to say that. And a lot of women will take that as, for example, let's say you're dating somebody. And this could go for women too. Like, let's say you're dating somebody and, you're still trying to fill them out. You don't know what's going on. You don't know where you stand with them. You're just literally just getting to know them. There's no reason to say, let's just be friends, unless it's kind of set up for a friend. Yes! And I'm gonna make a video about this, but I don't know if I'm gonna make it live, because I feel like a lot of men gonna be mad when I make that video. But I really feel like, not every time, but I feel like a lot of men set themselves up to be in the friend zone. I could even give y'all a couple stories right now. I've had male people show up in my life, and I would be thinking, well, actually, I didn't think anything, because I never necessarily initially would think anything when I would be, first meeting people, because I'm like, I don't know you. I don't know if I like you for real. Sure, you may be attractive, but I don't know you, so I can't really develop actual crushing feelings until I get to know something more. But there would be guys I would meet, and, they would express to me like, yeah, I'm not looking for that. I just want to make friends. I'm like, bet, you want to be friends? That's cool with me. Then maybe, like, let's say a month or two, sometime go down the line, we've been spending a lot of time together, or, I've been chatting it up with you, and I would like to date. What are you even talking about? What are you talking about? Because you said you want to be friends. Now they looking at me sideways, and I'm like, you put yourself in a friend zone. What am I supposed to do with that? Because I don't even like you. Like, the period of time where I could have liked you, because you set that boundary, that thought has gone out of my head. Like, there's no access to that thought, because you told me yourself, let's be friends. And I'm like, okay, that's what we'll be. And they used to feel like real upset about that. And I'm just like, don't say stuff you don't mean. Like, please. And eventually I just started telling people, I was like, listen, well, I didn't tell multiple people, but I told one person where I was like, do you actually mean let's be friends, or do you mean like let's potentially talk down the line? Because I'm like, I've had many of people say that, and then they would put themselves in the friend zone. And he was like, and I instantly, like, I ended up realizing that a lot of guys would do that just to be safe, because in their case, they were trying to figure out if I was crazy, or figure out what I was doing with other men, if I was talking to other men. And I get it, but I'm like, you don't have to do that, because when you put yourself in that zone, that's on you. That's completely on you. That is your fault if you're in there, because I didn't do anything. I didn't say I wanted to be friends. I was just like, oh, I mean, somebody new. But again, people don't really think about it like that when they're talking to people. They're thinking, let's build a friendship. And another thing. I think it's mad crazy to be like, oh, I'm looking to be friends with somebody, but then they asking me very personal questions that a friend naturally would not ask. Like, asking somebody what they like in a guy and you're trying to be friends with me is crazy. I'm sorry. Like, I always thought that concept was very crazy. And I had told a couple guys, I'm like, why are you asking me that if you're trying to be my friend? Like, you got one of your other friends you could set me up with, or, like, to me, it was just always insane when somebody would say that, because I'm like, you asking me questions that a friend naturally would not ask me if I'm just, interacting with them. But a lot of them would be like, oh, and I'm like, yeah. Do you actually want to be in the friend zone? What? Exactly. Dumb. No, I just post that video if you want. Take no offense to it. Some fellas need to hear it. Yeah, but some people take stuff personal, and I know, because I've had some videos in the past where people have taken things personally, and I would have to break stuff down. Which to me, I'm like, if I didn't tell you directly, I know your situation, I know what you've been through. I'm not talking about you. But if you take offense to it, why? Why are you taking this so personally with the person you don't even know in real life? I will never understand it. True, be authentic and accountable what you say. Some fake till they make it, or fake the fun. Yeah, it definitely gives trying to see, like, I'm trying to see where this goes, but I'm also putting a label on it. And some guys, I've realized too, they will put that label of the friend on it so that they can make you feel more comfortable. And sure, some women will tell all their business. Some women will become more comfortable. But again, it's them setting themselves up for failure if they try to make something for real happen. It's sad how people get sensitive. Girl, I don't understand it, because I've never taken personal offense to anybody on the internet. Even when somebody called me out the name, I would just laugh, because I'm like, why you call me the N-word or a B? And I didn't even say nothing mean. I wasn't saying nothing wild or anything. You just really just called me out my name for no reason. I find it funny and I just block them. But I don't know. People are weird. And this is why I feel like the gov probably will not put more, funding into mental health, because a lot of people have mental health issues. A lot of people have mental health issues and they don't really want to address it for real. Even a lot of people in office probably got mental health issues and they do not want to address that. True, Rose, sad people are super sensitive nowadays. Yeah, the N-word, oh heck no. See, people ridiculous on the internet. So, okay, let me tell y'all a quick story. See, I always get sidetracked. So, I cosplay from time to time, right? I dress up in costumes from time to time because it's just a hobby that I like. And I was in this one cosplay group, right? Now, mind you, Harley Quinn is white, okay? And I dressed up as Harley Quinn, and I was really proud of it. I think that was my first cosplay. Shared it. A lot of people were like, oh, it's so great, right? Now, it was some people on there that were expressing, why would you cosplay this character? She white. And to my surprise, I had a lot of white people defending me, like, she could do whatever she wanted. It's cute. She could cosplay whatever. But it was a variety of people coming at me like, why would you do this when Harley Quinn is not black. I remember one person actually posted a picture of a black version of Harley Quinn from another comic book. And they were like, why didn't you do this one? And I'm just like, so peep this, right? There was this man in there, and he proceeded to reach out to me and was like, you shouldn't be cosplaying Harley Quinn, you dirty. And Harley Quinn is not black, right? He proceeded to be like, but also, could you promote my website for me? I was like, are you serious right now? So first of all, you insult me and you call me out my name, and then you ask me to promote your website, all in the same breath. People are so unserious. And I was so petty too, because I submitted that to the group head leader. I was like, yeah, these are the type of people you got in this group. So they banned them. And I was like, as you should. Not him asking for a shout out and saying that, no, right? Like, I was just so bewildered. Like, that's mad crazy, bro. People be real, like, off in the head. I swear. Okay, the next topic. Why do some men use pet names immediately? I literally just started talking to a guy online yesterday. We exchanged numbers, and he's already called me cutie pie and babe. Like, who's babe? To me, that's something I would call a person I'm in a relationship with, not someone I don't know and just started talking to. What he wild as F ask you that rapper promote episode, sir, not watching my videos. I don't know. You know, people are mad wild with the way they move. But when it comes to pet names, from my experience, and I learned this when I was in high school, if somebody start calling you a pet name and you just recently, like literally, y'all have not been talking for like, I'll say a month or two. If they start calling you a pet name, a generic pet name, mind you, it gives, you're talking to multiple women. That's all it gives for me. You're talking to multiple women, because how are you already giving me a pet name and you don't know me? You don't know nothing about me. You have not created a specific attachment to me to give me a pet name. So what's going on here? Also, another thing is I feel like you doing that so you don't call me somebody else's name. Or you if you forget my name, it's not an issue. I hate when people do that and they do it on here. Like, you cute babe or my queen. Like, who your queen, not me. Listen, I can't stand when people do that either, because you don't know me. You just got here. And you literally just start calling me babe, queen. My name is right there. It say Jasmine, okay? And also, you don't even have to address me by name. Just say what you gotta say and then stop talking. Like, but it always gave me that you were talking to multiple women initially. Because again, I feel like if you've been talking to somebody for 2 months straight, like y'all actively been talking on the phone, and interacting with each other, hanging out, I'm like, okay, it makes sense, because you have grown some attachment to me. You're spending time with me. And, you're getting to know me. So you feel something. You feel something. But you're literally calling me babe. We just exchanged info on the Tinder, on the Hinge, or whatever you kids, whatever y'all be on. We just exchanged the info. So how am I your babe and you don't even know my birthday? You don't know my favorite color. What food do I like? What fast food do I like the most? You don't know anything. Nothing. And then you proceed to talk to me and call me babe. What's my name? What? Don't look it up. Don't look it up on a profile. What is my name? Again, I never thought of it. I like her perspective. Stop talking. That's funny. I'm just saying, man. I used to hate that because instantly I would get the ick when guys would do that to me because I'm like, and I would sometimes ask them, like, I remember one time I had went on a date with this guy. Literally, I think it was either the first date or second date. I can't remember, but I know I did not see him again. But I asked him, I was like, what is my name? What? What is my name? Because you keep calling me babe. Well, you are my babe. What? What do you mean? You don't know me, for real. How are you calling me babe? Well, you're going to be my babe in the future. Okay, if that's true, that's future. That's future. That's not present. What is my name? That man didn't know my name. So unserious. So freaking unserious, bro. Jazz and Rose, solid points being made on this topic. Whatever y'all be on. Listen, I don't know. I don't know what's popping right now. You know what I'm saying? Like, I've talked to some friends that I know that are single. They're men, though. Well, technically, they're my husband's friends, and I adopted them. But it's just, I don't think any of them are on dating sites, actually. I think they all meet women in person. But I really just be looking like, don't call nobody babe or cutie pie. Also, cutie pie is so cringe. I don't know. Whenever I think of cutie pie, I always think of, that's like a name you call your daughter. You know what I mean? Or like your child. I don't know. Oh boy, not this dude not knowing girl playing in my face. And he thought I wouldn't check him on it. Bro, didn't know your name is crazy to me. When I tell you, some men be just full of it, okay? I don't have the time. Like, I will say, and that's why my mom used to be looking at me because she would be like, you know, you went out on multiple dates. And I'm like, yeah, I get rid of people pretty fast if I see something I don't like. Like, I would definitely get rid of somebody real quick if I saw something I did not like. Because I was just like, I'm trying to find a husband. I'm not about to waste my time on somebody that don't know my name for real. That's crazy. Or somebody that's not really taking the time to get to know me, or they just want box. You know what I mean? It's like, don't play in my face. And it used to be so funny to me how some guys would react. And I think it's because a lot of women will settle, you know? And I get it because I used to settle myself, like, because I was too caught up within trying to get trying to find my husband. I was too caught up in that. And I feel like a lot of women will settle, you know, they'll take the bare minimum because they feel lonely. Because I know I did. I know my ass was hella lonely. And I want to say I made a video about this where I talk about how sometimes loneliness can get you caught up in situations you do not need to be in. Like, specifically, I will tell anybody any day, if you feel lonely and you're trying to date, and I'm not talking about like, you know, because of course everybody gets lonely sometimes. I'm talking about like lonely where you feel desperate and you're getting treatment that you know you do not deserve. Like, you have to take some time to evaluate whoever you are talking to and realize, no, you deserve better. This person should be treating you with the greatest respect and with care and with love, and not with no, oh, you know, I'm gonna just do whatever. I'm not gonna consider your feelings, or I'm not gonna treat you with respect. You know what I mean? Because I went through that for a great period of time where I would just accept whatever, or I would just, entertain talking to people because I was lonely, and it just left me with my feelings hurt. Every time, it just left me with my feelings hurt. And it's like, it's really difficult to not give in to loneliness, or to not like entertain people just because it's just hard. Like, I completely understand. Like, it's very hard when you want to date and you want to be with somebody and there's nobody there. There's nobody there, or like there's the options are not optioning. And I completely understand it because I greatly still remember how negatively I felt um when I was going through it myself. Okay, which leads into my next topic. It says, please stop telling people who have never been in love to just stop worrying and live for themselves. And it says, I see this all the time. Someone in their late 20s says they have never had a relationship and that they feel lonely, that they are hurt from being rejected, and that they are worried that they will never find anyone. And then somebody comments one of the following: just enjoy being single. It has its pros too. Or you need to learn to be comfortable alone before looking for a relationship. I used to hate when people would tell me that. That shit, I'm sorry. Oh, I'm cussing. But that joke used to piss me off, bro, when somebody would say you need to be comfortable with being alone before looking for a relationship. That junk used to grind my freaking gears. But, or somebody would say, do the things you want to do, not because you think it will attract someone, but just because you want to have a good time. Or someone would say, it will happen naturally one day. You'll find someone when you least expect it. Now, I do tell people that. That is one thing I do tell people because, to be honest, it's true. Like, when just in everyday life, you will come across people when you least expect it. But this person says none of that is good advice for someone who has been alone throughout their entire life. It's only natural that someone who has been alone for years doesn't want to be alone. I feel like it's becoming almost like a cult of independence, with lonely people constantly getting told to just be happy alone and wait until it happens naturally when you least expect it. Except for many, it doesn't. No, seriously, I can't stress it enough. For many people, relationships don't come naturally, and there is nothing wrong with not being okay with being alone. And I completely agree with this. Like, I used to hate when people would tell me I needed to be comfortable with being alone. However, in my case, I will say it was probably a little bit some truth to that because, I was on the hunt for a man. But at the same time, I feel like it's unfair that people will not let people who are single vocalize how they feel for real. Because it is hard. Dating has always been difficult. It's not like back in the day where, people had arranged marriages, or, somebody would just meet somebody out in the street and they'd be like, okay, you're going to be my wife. You know what I mean? It's very difficult dating right now, especially because I'm gonna be honest, I feel like social media and online dating made stuff even worse because now everything is easily accessible. You got OnlyFans, you got people that's focused on the physical aspect more than anything. They really not trying to get to know people for real. And it does piss you off because it's like you in this world where you want something meaningful, and a lot of people not on the same tip you on. And I know for me, I'm gonna be real. I'm gonna be very transparent because it used to hurt me sometimes. It used to hurt me because I know I used to cry myself to sleep sometimes because I'd be like, I really do want to have somebody. I really, really do. I really want to have somebody, and it seems like it's impossible. And I will say, one thing that I did do too when I was younger, I forgot what it was I was watching. It was on some sitcom. I feel like it was either girlfriends or Moesha or something. But in the episode, the girls basically were writing a list of everything they wanted in a partner, and they would put it under their pillow. And I remember I did that. Mind you, I did that when I was 21. 2019. I did it when I was a young age. And I put it under my pillow, and I misplaced that piece of paper. I don't know what happened to it. I might have threw it away. I don't know. But I remember I wrote what I wanted on a piece of paper. I put it in my pillow. And I prayed over it because I was like, God, I'm going to need you to send me somebody that got these qualities. Nothing too like extensive, ridiculous, but the logical things like let them be some sort of handsome. I don't want to roll over to somebody ugly. Let them be respectful, treat me with kindness, actually love me, not put me first, but like consider my feelings and not be selfish, And I made a whole list of everything I wanted. And it took me some years till I met my husband or whatever. But I will say, I feel like a lot of people who have somebody do not understand a lot of times. Because I know I will tell some people that I know that are single, I'm like, you will find somebody, you do. I'm going to be honest. I'm not going to say it's somebody for everybody because some people are awful people. But I will say if you're a good person, I do feel like there's somebody out there for you. It's just, are you getting out? And that's something that I share with people who I know that are introverts or like stay in the house. I'm like, bro, because I even had to say this to myself for a period of time. I'm like, you're not going to be anybody staying in the house. And I get it because being in the house is a safe space. But it's like the more you get out, and whether you take yourself out to eat or, you go to the bookstore, it's like you can meet anybody anywhere. But I will say, I feel like dating online is horrible. Some people it does work out for, but I feel like that's very rare. Unless it's like you met them through your social media, not through actual online dating. True, some people get desperate, and that's so true. Some of my relatives end up marrying the wrong person. I've seen a lot of people marry the wrong person. I think either next week or the week after next, I'm going to come out with a video about, I guess, how long you should date somebody before you get married, because I feel like a lot of people get married for the wrong reasons. Dating is hard nowadays, speaking true. Social media has damaged some people, online persona and then offline persona. Yes, two different people. Like, they'll present themselves a certain way online and then it'll look completely different in person. And you like, who the hell is this? This ain't who I thought I was talking to. You acted real different from your online persona. Was I even talking to you for real? Was I talking to somebody else? Like, did ChatGPT help you write your messages? I swear, like, stuff is just so different now. It's tough. I try telling somebody that and they're like, you're giving up. Girl, I understand. Dating has always been hard. It has always been difficult. I know. I told myself so many times I would be like, I'm going to give up. And then my ass would definitely try to... If I saw something, and that's another reason why I was always like ignoring getting rejected, because I'm like, for me personally, my fear of being alone just got rid of rejection for me. Like, don't get me wrong, I was always scared of getting rejected, but I'm like, instantly, if I got rejected, I'm like, that's not my man anyways. That's not the person that God wanted me to be with anyways. So whatever, like I would cry or whatever for like a week and then I'd be off of it. And then, I would hopefully hope that I would meet somebody else. Target crush online persona different from offline persona. Glad didn't work out. Man, people definitely will portray themselves a certain way online, and it's mad crazy when you see them and talk to them in real life. It's almost like jarring how weird and how different people can be. But I know it's just dating has always been a tough experience. Like, people, how do I say this? It's like rejection is protection as well. It definitely is. Because I know I've been rejected by some guys, and I've seen them do other people dirty in the worst way. But I just think that, I know for me, I think the thing that was the hardest about not actually being in a relationship was the fact that I would see other people have it. And I remember at the time when I was single, a lot of my friends, they were starting families. And even though that's not something I wanted for myself, I would still feel some type of way, because I'm like, at least you have somebody, or like, at least you have something. And I don't know, I remember, so I have this couple friends, right? And I remember, they've been together since I've known them in high school. And I remember sometimes they would try to set me up with some of their other friends. And I remember it was this one really bad person they set me up with, and I had to explain to both of them. I'm like, listen, I know y'all trying to help me, but at the same time, the way y'all are friends with this person is not the same way as me dating them. Like, y'all know them as your friend. Y'all don't know how they date and how they operate with women. And I had to explain that to them, and they were like, you know what? I never thought about that way. And I'm like, yeah, because this man you set me up with was trash. That was a horrible experience. But what about when they stay engaged too long? I only think you should stay engaged. I only think if somebody has been engaged for too long, it's got to be money involved. Because I feel like celebrities do stuff like that. If you're a regular person that ain't got no money for real, that don't make sense to me. That really don't make sense to me. But as a celebrity, I can understand why a celebrity would stay engaged, because they got so many assets and stuff. That's good, Rose. Some people get engaged way too long. Yeah, like that Katy Perry. 9 years, Kyla Pratt, 20 years. Like, at this point, y'all ain't getting married. Yeah, Kyla Pratt and her man, they look like siblings, but that's beside the point. But, again, when you're a celebrity, I feel like stuff is just different. Now, I'll even share y'all a bit of my business. So, my husband and I, we dated for almost 7 years before we got engaged. And I will say, but we had plans for how we were doing things. Like, so for example, I think it was like year 4. I think it was year 4. He asked me, he was like, do you want to get married or do you want to get a house? Because at the time, that was when the pandemic was happening. And yeah, it was too much stuff going on. And I'm like, we gonna be together, so we need to get a house because the rent is going up and it does not make sense to be renting like this. So we ended up getting a house. Now, during this time, there were a lot of our, I don't even want to call them friends. It was more associates. To me, it was more associates. Actually, some of my friends did ask. They were like, oh, when do you think, your husband is going to propose? Or some people would be like, when are you guys getting married? And they would like be all in our business. And I'm so glad my mindset is completely different from other people, because I wasn't really worried about that because I'm like, I know this is the one God has for me. So I'm like, I'm not tripping. Y'all focused on the wrong thing. And, people would ask. And then when he did propose, a lot of people were like, finally, it was taking so long. And I'm not going to lie to you. It took everything in me to be like, I'm going to need you to chill on us because we got something good over here. Y'all, on the other hand, we know about y'all situations. But I was not trying to be rude. But I just feel like some people, I will say, I do feel like a lot of people put too much pressure on engagement and stuff versus on having an actual healthy relationship and on having like actual understanding. And I will say, because my husband always kept me in the loop about everything and he made moves with me versus making moves by himself and then telling me, I feel like our experience was completely different from how other people's are, where other people are like, when y'all getting married, or why is it taking so long, or y'all finally got engaged. It's just like, when it comes to people like Kyla Pratt, Katy Perry, I'm like, y'all got money involved. So, and the way us people, as regular everyday people, the way we view relationships is not the way celebrities view relationships, because they got way more money than us. Because I'm not gonna lie, if I wasn't married and I was dating and I was a celebrity, I would probably have long engagements too. Because I wouldn't want to be, no offense to J Lo, but also offense to her, I want to be on no energy where I'm constantly dating somebody for 6 months or a year and then we get engaged and then it's like we get married and then I'm getting a divorce. Because I still don't think, okay, if you want a time frame because you want to have kids, I understand getting married quick and getting engaged quick. But if you are not on a time frame, I do not understand getting engaged within a year. Even 2 years is mad crazy to me, just because I've seen so many people our age get divorced and it was because they did not know the person they were with, or because, quiet as it's kept, I feel like a lot of people do not address the fact that when a woman gets pregnant and she is carrying a baby, a lot of things changes. Like, her whole mindset changed, her body changed, everything changes. So a lot of women end up handling the relationship differently, just like men handle the relationship differently because it's a new person involved, it's a baby involved. And a lot of people that I know of that I went to high school with ended up breaking up because they had a baby. And I feel like that's a topic that's not really talked about a lot, where people not understanding, like, women do go through postpartum depression. Women do have a lot of changes. Men are having a lot of changes as well, where they're trying to address things or figure things out because now they have to take care of two other people and alongside of themselves. So, but that's another topic for another day. But I just feel like people get married too quick, in my opinion. Um, like, I know I've talked to some people on this channel before, because I think I briefly talked about it. But a lot of people will be like, oh, if you really want to marry someone, you'll just know. Which I agree. Like, a lot of men will know, but sometimes it does take time to make certain moves, whether they want to get a better job or want to make more money. Now, depending how long it's taken, that's when you kind of side-eyeing him, like, okay, you said you was gonna get a better job 5 years ago, and you still in the same spot. You know what I mean? But also the economy, not economy, and because some people will use and make excuses, but I just feel like when it comes to marriage and stuff, you kind of have to navigate it the way you and your person gonna navigate it. You can't really put all relationships and engagements and marriages in the same box because everybody's situation different. But that's just how I see things. Because I've seen some people where they get married quick and they doing really well. And then other people, most people, they get divorced. So It just really depends. Kyla is on her Oprah at this point. I mean, I don't blame her. I feel like she probably has way more equity and profit than the guy she's dating. So, and she could be the one that's saying she don't want to get married yet and putting it off. So, I mean, you know, a lot of people will look at the man and they'll be like, "Oh," but sometimes it's the woman. I mean, it's just like what happened with what's that man name that everybody liked that I don't find attractive? Why did I describe him like that? Sinners. I forget his name. It's just like him when he was dating Lori Harvey. You know, she didn't want to get. I don't know if she. Well, I don't know what happened, but I'm assuming she didn't want to marry him, or she said no, she wasn't ready, and he potentially wanted to start a family. I don't know his business, but that's what I assume happened. And it's like, you know, some women are like that, where it's like they don't want to get married, or they not ready for that yet, or they thinking about everything collectively, you know? I mean, not to talk about celebrities, but it's also like Janae Aiko and Big Sean. Because I remember the internet were talking about how basically he expressed in some interview how he didn't, like, it was stuff they need to work on or something like that, and that's why he didn't want to get married to her. And people were women were looking at him sideways, and I was just looking at the situation like, y'all dragging him, but clearly he looking at her like, girl, you just got out of a divorce, didn't you? Like literally 2 years ago. Like, I was really sitting there, like, I think it's mad crazy how people look at, I guess, celebrity situations and they try to apply the way they handle relationships to theirs. Because I'm like, also, ain't Janae a little toxic too? Like, I mean, I'm just saying, bro, like, there could be reasons why he don't want to marry her right now. And he could be like, it's stuff we need to work on, which is true. Because a lot of people will just be like, let's get married and let's get engaged since we've been together for this long, or, you know, just to help our relationship. But it's like, if it's so many things that y'all got issues with, why are you getting married? Just like some people will have a baby to keep the relationship going. Like, it does not make sense. Why would you marry somebody who you constantly at odds with, or constantly arguing with? Or why would you have a baby thinking it's going to help y'all relationship, when that's literally you going to bring a baby into an environment that may not be that mentally, emotionally healthy? You know what I mean? I don't know. You know, again, I look at stuff from a different perspective from other people, just based off of what I've seen. So I'm like, I just think it's really wild to me the way people perceive things. But I understand that a lot of people perceive things from their own personal experience. So dynamics work for you. That's great, Jazz. True celebrities look relationships different. Yeah. Some people want these microwave relationships, even marriages. Microwave? I never heard of that term before. What's that mean? Yes, Michael B. Jordan. That's his name. Love Lori like them toxic types like Diddy and Future. I don't really have no opinion on Lori Harvey. I think she's just trying to figure herself out, to be honest. Because what is she, like 25, 26, 27 or something like that? She was young when she was really in the limelight. And I know people were like clowning her and stuff, but I'm just like, I mean, she's dating. Like, I don't know. You know, I just look at things as the only reason we know her business is because we a celebrity. I mean, because she's a celebrity. So we don't really know if she was actually intimate with anybody. We just know she went on a date or two because they got some pictures. But I just feel like she was just dating. and people had created their own opinions about her or called her a 304 or whore or whatever. And it's like, but we don't really know what she was doing. Like, y'all just assume because people were taking pictures with them that they was out here in the street. Like, you don't know. Yeah, Big Sean's smart not to marry her yet. More issues, to be honest. I'm saying though, like, I wouldn't want to marry somebody that I got a whole bunch of issues with, that I'm always arguing with. Microwave, another term for instant. Oh, okay, I like that. I'm gonna have to start using that. Microwave relationship. That's a good one. Because a lot of people are like that, where they're like, I am on this set time frame. I want this, and this. And I want this. This is the way I want the relationships to happen quick. And it's like, I don't know. It's just so interesting the way that people operate when it comes to how they think things should be. And I feel that the issue too is also with the way media presents marriages, or the way other people have seen other people handle marriages. They feel like things should be the same. Whereas, okay, we've been dating for 6 months to a year. Where's my ring? Babe, you don't know that man for real. Like, that's instantly my first thought process. And, you know, I don't really like bringing people down, because I've known people that were like that, but I'm just like, this does not make sense to me. But, you know, some people are able to do that and it works out with them. But I feel like you have to be, both of y'all have to be leveled on the same page. And I feel like that rarely happens. Hopefully it can for people, but again, I just don't think 6 months to a year or even 2 years is a long enough time to know somebody for real. But that's just from my personal experience, because when I think about the times that I dated, sometimes some of the guys that I dated, they did not even show their true colors for real until the year mark, where it was like, you acting real different from how you was acting previously. And then I ended up realizing they was cheating on me. So, you know, I just feel that people should go through things with a person and really truly get to know them, not just the face value of, you know, stuff, because a lot of people do, and they end up looking at people that they are dating through rose-colored glasses, and they don't even really be seeing the red flags for real. So I just think people need to pace themselves when it comes to dating and not just dive in. Yeah, media has influence. That is so true. Remember, turned down prom day. She thought spent $400 for prom attire. I'm glad I didn't end up going to prom with her. $400 is crazy. Especially back then, bro. $400 is insane. But I know people were decked out for prom. I didn't go to my prom. I'm glad I didn't, to be honest. Because I wasn't messing with them people for real anyway, if we being for real. Okay. So the next topic is my ex coming back made me realize how much you build up people in your head. This was written by a female who is 21, and the guy that they are talking about is 23 years old. I dated this guy. Yeah, I didn't go to my reunion at all either, because one, I did not mess with them people like that, and I could care less. You know, I hope everybody doing good, but whenever I think of reunions, I'm just like, y'all want to be in other people's business, or y'all want to meet somebody. Which, don't get me wrong, if you potentially want to see about finding somebody to date, you could go to a reunion. Personally, I wouldn't, because I don't really like too many people. But yeah, It says, my ex coming back made me realize how much you build up people in your head. I, a 21-year-old female, dated this guy who's a 23-year-old male for about a year and was completely obsessed. He was perfect at first, and then he slowly stopped investing and ultimately became cold. I had no choice but to break up with him. I was heartbroken for months and truly thought only he could make me happy again. Girl, pick yourself up! Mad crazy. Anyways, for the last couple of months, I've been talking to him again, and I couldn't be less invested. I've told him I'm busy with school and not emotionally available, so I'm not leading him on. Yet he acts like we're dating again. I've noticed I get annoyed by him a lot and find him to be pretty negative. He isn't necessarily acting any differently than he did before. I just realized how much my emotions clouded my judgment of him. A lot of the time, talking to him feels like a chore, and it made me realize how much emotions alter perception. I realize we are not compatible and have little in common. I'm now glad we broke up because I see that a long-term relationship with him would have made me miserable. At one point, I was in physical pain missing this person so much, and now I'm pretty regularly annoyed by him. It's funny how we can think we know what we want and be so wrong. In this case, not getting what I wanted was exactly what I needed. I just thought I'd share this for anyone dealing with a breakup right now. It feels like the end of the world, but with time, the feelings go away and you'll have clarity. Completely agree. Because breakups used to be so... I was so dramatic. I'm not gonna lie to you. But when you when stuff just don't work out, you really just be going through your emotions. It just feel like you just tearing apart. But mind you, again, I'm a very dramatic person. But, looking back, it's so funny when I talk with people about past relationships I've had because I'm like, younger me really would be going through it and really just feeling like everything was just awful in life when it's really like, no, it should have happened the way that it did. And it's for the best long-term wise because now it's like you can move forward and you understand that that person was not a good person for you to be with anyway. And after a period of time of not dating somebody, you really will come to terms with like, why did I even let myself deal with that? Why did I even put myself through that? I should have been left them. I used to think it was so interesting how some of my exes would come back like years later. And again, with that friend stuff, they would be like, let's be friends. And a part of me would be like, do you even remember what you did to me before? You were a whore. You know what I mean? But in the same breath, though, I would be over it. So I would just be like, okay, we could be cool, whatever. But then after a period of time, now mind you, when I am friends with somebody, I am very much vocal about stuff I would be with friends. So I would tell them about if I was dating somebody new or if I was going on a date, stuff like that. Why did I do that? Because what ended up happening was some of the guys that I ended up, we weren't together and then they tried being my friends with years later. I would think, oh, you're trying to actually be my friend. No, they were trying to see what my feelings were towards them to see if they could rekindle something is what it was. And I remember, I would be thinking, oh, I can talk to them about whatever new person that I'm trying to talk to or is trying to talk to me. And I remember some of them would get annoyed or get mad. And then they would tell me later, like, yeah, I don't want to hear about this person you're talking about. You're my friend, I thought. What are you saying? Oh, well, I thought we could potentially talk again. I'm sorry. You were a whore. Why would I talk to you again? I've changed. I've grown. No, you came back to me because you realized stuff wasn't green on the other side. You realized that the situations that you got in after me were not pleasurable to your liking. And now you want to come back and see if you could talk to me again. And I think the other thing that a lot of guys didn't realize too, I know me personally, I used to grow, and I still grow. You know, we all growing. But whenever it come to dating somebody and I had a period of time away from them, I would learn and I would grow and I would try not to return back to those spaces again. And a part of me would become a different person. So they would be thinking, oh, I'm going to talk back to this person that I dated previously years ago, when it's like, I'm a completely different being now. I'm completely different from how I was when you first started talking to me. And I leveled up. I don't even want to talk to you like that for real. But it's just so interesting how you grow. Yes, pick up yourself. Clarity is important. It is. Detaching is important and leveling up as well. It really is, because when you have time away from somebody, you can really reflect better on everything. How you felt, how they treated you, if you were happy, if you were miserable, what you did like, what you didn't like. And it's like when you're in it and you're going through problems, you don't really see the issues versus somebody that's on the outside looking in. They could clearly see, like, girl, he out here in the street. She using you. Like, they could clearly see it. But when you in it, your emotions too tied into I want them, that you don't really see the bad stuff. So, but the next topic, do people honestly think putting misleading photos of themselves on dating apps will end well? So this is a 24-year-old man who wrote this, and they are talking about a 23-year-old woman. Last week, I matched with a 23-year-old woman on Bumble. Conversation goes well, and we agreed to meet up. I always vet every girl I agree to go on a date with. She has a full body pic, and she looks very attractive. I show up to the date, and I had to confirm that it was her because she looked absolutely nothing like her dating profile. She's probably 85 pounds heavier. As soon as I realized it was her, I debated about leaving right then and there, but decided I didn't want to make a scene and be rude. Ended up toughing it out for an hour and made up some excuse about working early the next morning, so I dipped. My roommate is a guy, and he's pulled the same S, and then has the audacity to wonder why he never gets a second date. Tricking people into thinking you are way different physically than you actually are is never going to get you anywhere. I don't care if you're overweight. I care that you lie about how you present yourself. Anyone else experience something similar? So, I wouldn't necessarily call that catfish, but at the same time, I kind of call that catfish because it's like, if you have a picture of yourself and you look completely different physically, I assume people think that, oh, my personality will carry and a person will care more. People are shallow. I'm not even going to hold you. People are very shallow. So, you know, and it's a lot that comes with that, because it's like, how do I say this? I'll give y'all an example. I remember I was cool with this one girl. And I'm not going to get into our friendship, but I remember she met this guy. And when I first started hanging out with her, she was talking to him, and I didn't really care for him, if I'm being completely honest, because I didn't like the way he treated her. But I remember he had expressed to me, or she told me, either he expressed to me while she was standing there, or she told me. I know she expressed it to me herself, but she explained how she had a picture of her on this profile, and it showed her body. She was much, much slimmer. And when he met her, he looked at her like, you don't look like, your face looks like you. However, you know, over time, a woman can gain weight or whatever. And she had put on some weight. And he didn't like that she lied about this, but he proceeded to talk to her even though he would talk crap about her weight or whatever, which to me, I'm like, okay, you saw what she looked like. You probably, if you wasn't a fan of however she looked, you probably should have stopped talking to her, versus because he was kind of a gym head, he was basically trying to, I guess, get her into the gym. But the way he was doing it, I did not like the approach, the way he was doing it. Now, I will say, it is very important, if you are on these online dating apps, create a non-filtered picture of your face. In my opinion, I feel like you should have a non-filtered picture. And I feel like you should actually have a body picture somewhere. Now, you don't have to be wearing no bodycon dress. Even for the men, you don't have to have your shirt off. If anything, that's off-putting in my personal opinion. I don't want to see no man with his shirt off if that's supposed to be my future husband, because why are you sharing your goodies with the world? But you need to have a current picture, both of body and both of your face, because it can be very much misleading. And I'm gonna be honest, I think it is very interesting when people do feel some type of way about stuff like that, if the person doesn't respond the way that they would like them to, because it's like, you're showing yourself when you were 20. You are now 30. You need to have an updated current pic, babe. You need to have an updated current pic. Because again, people are going to be interested in you based off of your face value. Now, sure, sometimes your personality can carry and they'll be interested for real, but it's like, if you look completely different, it's a problem. It's bound to be a problem. Specifically, again, men are shallow. Women can be shallow, but I feel like women will be okay as long as the man is not ugly and keeps himself together and smells good for the most part. But I feel like men are definitely very shallow. So it's like, if you are portraying yourself a certain weight, and it's unfortunately a lot of people that are fat phobic, so it's like, it'd probably be for the best if you show your actual weight. That way you're not dealing with somebody being disrespectful or rude, or someone secretly hating you or wanting to change the way you look, or, someone that's absolutely talking mess about you. Because there are a lot of men who are like that, where they'll be very disrespectful and be fat phobic. So it's like, it's just better to show your body. That way you could weed through whoever it is. Now, however, I do have to say this, because there are some weirdo men too out there who, I forget what they're called, but it's like they have a fetish for bigger women, which that's a completely different story. You know what I mean? Like, it's so hard to just find a normal guy. It is so hard. But even for the men too, because like the person said, they had a friend that would catfish the weight as well. Or he would have a picture where he was looking much slimmer and then he's gained a whole bunch of weight. And it's like, a lot of women are okay with bigger guys. If we're being completely honest, like, a lot of women, as long as the guy is cool, he not weird, he attractive in the face somewhat, he, isn't stinking, you know what I'm saying? Like, a lot of women are not super duper shallow as long as it's a decent guy. You know what I'm saying? He not hideous. But men, on the other hand, it's just better to put it all out there, sis. It is completely better to just show your body for what it is. And it don't even have to be doing too much, because some men too, they'll approach a woman profile because they'll see she has a nice body as well, which is a completely other different issue. But I don't know. I would just say you should be very transparent and not lie about your looks, you know? Oh my gosh, she catfished him for the date as well. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people will do it, but again, I just feel like you setting yourself up for failure if you're not being transparent about the way that you look. And then you way more quicker to get rejected that way versus, you know, not even having to deal with rejection because somebody could clearly see what you look like at that point. College homeboy loved big women. That was his preference. My thing is, it's nothing wrong with having a preference for bigger women. It's just like when you fetish them is when it's a problem. Because I've met some people who are like that, and I'm like, you focused a bit too much on, I want to say the way that they look, but it is the way that they look. And it's like, it's a certain way they talk about bigger women where it's like, there's nothing wrong with liking bigger women. It's just the fact that you're talking about them like you're a predator. Like, I don't know if I can explain this in a way that sounds, but it's like you should not be fetishizing people. It's just like people who fetishize Black people or people who fetishize certain types of Asians. Like, that could be your preference, sure, but when you start talking about them like a certain type of way or putting other people down because they don't look a certain way, I don't know, it's just weird to me, especially if you are not that yourselves. Hey girl, I'm sorry I'm out right now. Oh, that's okay, girl. I appreciate you for even being in here. Oh my gosh, she's gorgeous. Why you look? Oh, thank you. Appreciate you considering. But that is true. Jazz become fetish friendly, right? I don't know. People be so weird nowadays. Yes, I appreciate you, girl. Cause I'm gonna be in your live later. But all right, so this is the other topic, right? She canceled our date because of my zodiac sign. And I had to put this in there because I thought this was so funny to me. It says, I'm a bit thrown off by this, but I was canceled on due to my zodiac sign. Throughout the week before work, I visit a coffee shop. I go practically every weekday, and I've been seeing the same barista there every morning. We seem to click well with our small conversations, and after chatting with her for a few weeks, I decided to offer my number since she was on the clock. She declined to take my number, but gave me her Snapchat. We chatted a bit on Snapchat and agreed to go on a date Friday. About an hour after that, she said she wouldn't be able to go out with me because she saw on my Snap profile that I was an Aries. She says she doesn't date Aries, but it was nice meeting me. Is this something that's common in the dating world? I've never been rejected on my zodiac sign before, so it kind of surprised me. Now, I thought this junk was so hilarious to me because how do I say this without offending anybody? Please sing one song. This is a request for your fan. Row, row, row your boat gently down the stream. I'm unserious. But anyways, I really do not like when people focus on zodiacs too much, or when they focus on horoscopes too much. For me, it's always been a red flag if somebody focused on horoscopes a bit too much, specifically because I felt like they would use horoscopes as a way to, how do I say? I feel like they would use horoscopes as a way to do certain things. Like they would be like, well, I act like this because I'm this horoscope, or you're acting like this because you're that horoscope. I could not stand that. Because honestly, if you look at a lot of the horoscopes, a lot of people have similar traits. It's just based on their upbringing, to be honest. Like, again, if you believe in horoscopes, that's fine. But personally, I just don't like when people lean into that when it's like, dang, you letting this horoscope define you. You are just an individual person, you know? But that's how I operate. And, I'm not going, what's the word? I'm not going to uh degrade what other people think, but that's just how I see things because I'm like, everybody is their own person. Everybody is figuring stuff out their own way. But I feel like when you start saying your flaws are like this because you're this horoscope, I'm like, see, you don't want to take accountability. Like, you really don't want to take accountability. Or when people start blaming, that's the reason why you are the way that you are. It's like, maybe I'm acting like this because you did me dirty. Or you spoke to me in a wild way, That's crazy. Rejected because of zodiac sign is crazy. That is very much. And I know for me, one thing I personally did not like, even till this day, is which is why I don't really disclose what my horoscope is, because when I was younger and I was dating, like 18, 19, whenever a guy would ask what my horoscope was, instantly it's like, oh, you're a freak. And that was the quickest way for me to not talk to you, because I'm like, just because my horoscope is this, you automatically assume I'm this. And the way you're handling it is very disrespectful. Because why are you coming at me like this? You don't even, I just met you. I guess you will never know. Like, I just never liked the way people approached my horoscope or the way they viewed my horoscope. And it was just very much like, it was inappropriate. I'll say that. And again, people just don't have no type of decorum. People automatically assume certain things about you when you have a specific horoscope. And for me, I'm just like, everybody is their own person. People will grow and develop perspectives in the way they handle things based on their environment and based on their temperament and based on a variety of different variables. But you basically assuming that I am a certain way because I was born in a certain month, you sound kind of wild. I want to say dumb, but I don't want to offend anybody, but at the same time, it's just really wild to me because I've met people of the same horoscopes a million times and they'd all act completely different. So it's just, I don't know, I just never understood people's concepts of, if you're this horoscope, you're like this because you're like this, or oh, I can't talk to this horoscope, or I can't be friends with this horoscope because of this. Like, that sounds very insane to me. To me, that sounds wow. And just because two people may be from a similar horoscope and you've had bad experiences with them does not mean every person from that horoscope is going to be trash. You know what I mean? I don't know. That's just something that kind of pisses me off. Like, whenever, I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I try to be open-minded as possible. However, when it comes to people being or saying certain things about horoscopes, I kind of tune out because I'm like, you're literally grouping a whole bunch of people into one category and not everybody is the same. Not everybody is similar. Just like how it says my horoscope is like this, other people from a completely different horoscope could be the same way. So, but again, I think it's mad insane to be like, I want to talk to somebody because they are this type of horoscope without actually getting to know them. Especially people who have only had one experience with that person. That's the thing that would blow me, because if just like this situation, I bet this person who said they didn't want to date this guy because they were Aries, probably only dated one Aries, one or two, and they might assume like, oh, all of them are the same, where it's like, girl, what? It's like setting a certain standard that is completely crazy to me. Like, oh, I don't want to date somebody because they're this horoscope. Why? You don't even know them. You just assume that they all gonna be the same. And also, some people forget that a lot of, well, I won't say a lot of men, but many men are similar because of groupthink, because of whatever, they have learned from other people. And if a lot of men are being taught to think a certain way or to operate a certain way, then a lot of them are going to be similar versus just assuming, oh, because they're this horoscope, they're going to do me dirty or treat me this way. What? I don't get it. Definitely disrespectful approach for sure. Very. Like, I will never understand when guys lead off with that, like, oh, you're a Scorpio, so that means you're a freak. That's like, you really thought that was what to lead off with and you're trying to date me? Weird. Agreed. Tried same people zodiac in one box. Yeah, I do not like stuff like that. It gives closed-minded. And the thing that gets me is I've known some people like this and they'll be like, oh, I'm open-minded. And I'm like, no, you're not. You are definitely not open-minded because you automatically assume everyone is the same. It's just like when people generalize women or men. One thing I cannot stand is the discourse on like places like Twitter or X, even though nobody calls it that for real. I do not like when men and women be arguing about something where it's like they against each other. And it's just very much giving y'all trying to hate the opposite sex so bad, but yet y'all want to be with them at the same time. What are we really doing right now? I just do not get it. It's like you may have had bad experiences yourself, and I completely get it. I've had multiple bad experiences with different men, but I would never in my head or like out my mouth just be like all men are trash, because that's not true. Not all men are trash. It's just there are unfortunately a lot of men that are selfish, just like there are unfortunately a lot of women that are selfish. And you kind of just have to weed through, and hopefully you'll end up meeting somebody that will treat you with respect and not be trash. But people will generalize and they'll just think, oh, because I had 2 or 3 bad experiences with men, all of them are bad, or because I had 2 or 3 bad experiences with women, all women are bad. And it's like, no, there are some good people out there. It's just when you see signs that somebody is treating you wrong, remove yourself. Remove them. Or when you see something, get out of there. Don't expect them to change back. Because a lot of times we'll do this thing where we'll be expecting or hoping for the best from somebody. And then when they start showing us who they are, it's kind of like I don't know. It's kind of like we just hope that they'll be this type of person or be what the idea that we have in our head. And it's like, no, if somebody is doing you dirty, leave. But do not always assume that the next person will be worse. True good people out there guilty. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's a lot of good people out there. It's just you do have to go through the weeds to find a good patch of grass. Like, I don't even know how to say it. Like, you really do have to just hope for the best. And then if stuff don't work out, you just keep pushing, keep moving. Because, again, like with me, when stuff would mess up, I would grieve a relationship or grieve whatever time I invested into whoever I was talking to. And then I would move forward because I'm like, I know my husband's out there. I know he's out there. He's breathing air. Like, I would be like, I know it's somebody out there for me. So, I feel like it can be hard to maintain that thought process, though. Very much difficult, especially if you keep getting weeds. If you keep getting people who are trash, it is very, very difficult to have hope. So hard to have hope, but you do kind of have to just push through and keep on moving and hope for the best. The other thing I will say is, I know for me, when I was about to give up, like I literally was like, I'm done. I'm not trying to date no more. That's when I met my husband. And I have never did that before. I was always like, this relationship didn't work out for me. And then literally a week or two later, I'd be like, bet. I'm outside. Hopefully my man gonna be outside too when I'm outside at the same time so we can meet each other. But when I went through the relationship I went through before my husband, oh my gosh, I was completely done. I was like, I'm kind of over dating for real. I just want to enjoy life. And that's when I ended up meeting my husband. So I don't know, because a lot of people will say when you stop caring, that's when you actually end up meeting somebody. But it's so hard to not care. When you actually want to date for real, it's so hard to not care. When you thinking about it, like, I'm tired of being alone. I want to be with somebody. I'm tired of these bad dating experiences. I'm tired of going through this crap with these guys or with these women where they trying to use me or they only want one thing. It gets real repetitive and it gets old real quick. And I don't even know, sometimes I want to give people advice, but then at the same time, I'm like, I can't really even do that because I know how I was and I know how I felt. And it's not really much you can say to somebody to make them feel better either, or to make them change how they navigate relationships. Like, that's why the only thing I really say for real is I'm like, get out the house. Get out the house, make sure, like, you don't have to do too much. Just have a nice haircut or, just have your hair in a ponytail or down. Don't even have to put on no makeup. Wear some lip gloss and just live your life, because while you out and about, if you're not looking too wrinkled, you looking a little presentable, you could potentially meet somebody. But I will say putting yourself out there is a bit, like, putting yourself out there, just getting out the house or even just complimenting somebody does make things easier, in my opinion. When it comes to trying to meet people, it does make things so much freaking easier. And this is the last one. Please, did I do this one? Oh, no, I didn't. Please compliment the men that you date. This is really more for the women on here in general. I'm sure men need compliments. I'm sure men need to compliment women more, but as a guy, I can only speak for men. If you think a man looks handsome, please let the guy know. Thank the guy for his time. So many men don't get a compliment, it's crazy. I remember every compliment that I have received from a woman, not including family. The fact that I feel the need to write this should be proof enough that this is a problem. If you're reading this and thinking common sense much, then good, this doesn't apply to you. If you're reading this and thinking, oh wow, I need to tell him he looks sexy more often, then this post was directly for you. A lot of guys work hard to look good, even if some of the men you've been with can't take a compliment well, other men will eat that stuff up. Which I completely agree with. I'm gonna tell y'all right now, just off some like interactions with men I've interacted with over the years, whether it's people that I knew, whether it's people who's family, friends, associates, random man on the street. When it comes to a compliment, because it does not happen to men too often, they will definitely remember the fact that, oh, somebody complimented me. Somebody said that they like my shoes, or somebody said that they like my beard game or my lineup, or they said I was attractive. I remember it was this one lady on TikTok. It was either TikTok or Facebook or both. Basically, what she would do is whenever she saw an attractive man, she would compliment them. She would be like, "Hey, how are you? I just wanted to tell you, you look really good. I hope you have a blessed day." And a lot of the men would end up blushing. She would just say something as simple as that. And again, a lot of men don't get compliments. And I'm not going to lie, some women can be mean and they may not want to compliment men. But I do feel like when you do, it's very easy to open up the door to potentially date somebody. And you don't even have to worry about getting rejected. You could just be like, "Oh, hi, how are you? I just wanted to say you are very attractive. I like the way you're dressed. Your hair looks well kept." Like, I didn't want to take too much from your day. I just wanted to tell you, you look good. And a lot of men will blush about that. And sometimes, that'll be stuck in their head. They'll always remember that because it rarely happens. And then some of them may take the initiative and be like, "Oh, you think I look nice? You look nice." And it's like, "Oh, yes, thank you." "Hey, T-Berries, how are you?" That sounds about right. Men love compliments, especially if they get a cut or put on cologne. Yes, yes. They like the compliments. They do. They will eat that up. True, fellas, it's a rarity for us. Listen, I'm just saying, like, complimenting men is like the easiest way to get into, like, potentially them asking you out. Because I know that's what I did when I was single. It was, don't get me wrong, I'd be scared, but at the same time, I'd be like, you know what, I'm not asking them out. I'm literally just complimenting them. And I'm not expecting anything in return. And if they want to compliment me back, they can. And some would. And then some I feel like would be lost. Because I've had a couple of moments where, like, I would compliment a guy and I would notice they would keep looking at me. And I think they were trying to process if I was trying to talk to them or not. And some of them would go back and be like, "Hey, not to be weird, but were you just complimenting me to compliment me, or was this like an opening?" And I'm like, "It could be." And then that's how the talking would begin. But again, I don't know. For some reason, I feel, well, actually, a lot of women don't like rejection. Nobody likes rejection, but I know for a fact women do not like rejection. And it just hurts too bad to get rejected. Now, me, on the other hand, I've been rejected many a times, okay? I have no shame in my game. But at the same time, I feel like the more you push yourself out there and the more you get rejected, it don't affect you as much. It's just like applying to jobs. It just is what it is. So, again, I feel like when you compliment people, it's just, you can't be creepy about it. It's just so much better to just be like, "Hey, you look nice." And, I just wanted to tell you because I was looking at you. I'm like, "Dang, you look very put together." Or, your beard actually, maybe you shouldn't talk about beard because people could turn that sexual. But you could just be like, "Hey, you look good. You look nice." And go about your day. You know what I'm saying? Nothing too much. "Hey, Mika, how you doing?" Become your plot armor, rejects real talk. I'm telling you, the more you get rejected, the more it don't bother you. The more it does not bother you. Don't get me wrong. For example, I've been rejected by crushes when I was younger. Like, I would get rejected or they wouldn't say anything. And I feel like I told y'all this before. It's so much easier for somebody to reject me versus somebody not telling me anything. Because now I'm in confusion. What am I supposed to do? I don't know what I'm supposed to do because you didn't tell me anything. And again, when I had crushes, I would literally just tell people, I like, after a period of time of me watching and lurking, I would eventually tell them, like, well, I would write a note. I'm not going to say I would tell them directly. And hopefully, they want to talk to me or they wouldn't. I just didn't like when I would tell somebody something and they wouldn't say anything, because I'm like, was that a yes or a no? At least if you tell me no, I can cry for like a week and move on. Oh, I'm doing okay. I'm just ranting, rambling. How are you doing? But yeah, I really think people, should be more kinder and give compliments more, both men and women. There's nothing wrong with it. You can make somebody's day real easily just by giving a compliment. And I will say, if you are single, it is so much easier to pick up people and to date people for real. Like, if you are single, it is so much easier to, tell somebody, oh, you look really, I don't know. It's simple to tell somebody they got a nice outfit. Like, I love the fit. That look good. Well, no, you can't say that. Well, let me think. What did I say? Yeah, people could at least let you know something, like politely turn them down instead of no response. See, and that's what I prefer, because don't get me wrong, at least if my feelings are hurt, I know where I stand. I know that, okay, this isn't an option for me. Bet I will no longer like you. But I feel like a lot of guys did not like being mean. And I feel like this is something that's just a norm with most men. For some reason, they'll be like, I don't want to be the bad guy, but at the same time will ignore you or will, I guess, not be direct, and they'll still being the bad guy. It's just they want you to end things with them or want you to get the picture on your own without being direct, because they don't like confrontation. Because that is one thing I've learned. A lot of men do not like confrontation, do not like being honest, because they don't want to deal with potential fallout. And I get it, but I feel like it's better to tell a woman I don't want you. Even with women, I feel like it's so much better to tell somebody I'm not interested, or let's just be friends, because at least then we can move forward. Because if you don't say anything, do I have hope or not? I don't know what's happening. When guys don't like you, they will ignore you. Yep, they will ignore you, but I feel like a lot of women don't get it. Like, they'll assume, well, he didn't say no, so there's still hope. It's like, girl, the actions show. The actions definitely show at this point. But I know when I was younger, I was just like, let me know something. Because it was so much easier for me to cry, be in my feelings, versus the guy not saying anything and then avoiding me. Because now I'm like, okay, clearly you don't like me, but the way you did it, that makes me not even like you more. Yep. True honesty is for the best. Even got rejected. Yeah, it is. Because I feel like if somebody is direct with you, for me, in my personal experience, it made it much easier for me to process my emotions when someone told me no, I'm not interested. Because I'm like, okay, you took it off the table, so therefore I will not like you no more. Women have to read the room and look for clues. Yeah, and that's what I never liked. I did not like the confusion of it all, because when I don't know anything, it made me anxious, and I hate feeling anxious. or I would be confused. And I hate feeling confused. And I'm going to be honest, that's how I knew somebody wasn't for me. Whenever I felt confused or anxious, I'm like, you're not the person for me. You're not the person for me. And my husband has probably been the only person where I did not feel anxious or confused. Everybody else left me in confusion, which is not a great feeling. It is not a good feeling at all. But anyways, but that was all my topics I have for today. I'm debating if I want to stay on here a little bit longer. I'm supposed to go live twice a month. I am doing a sleepover live. I'll put it in the community post when I'm actually doing it, where it's gonna be like a girls' night type of thing. If you're a man, you can join. However, it will be more girl themed, like girly. And I'm gonna do that in July. It'll probably be the third week or the fourth weekend of July for me to do the girl sleepover thing. It's gonna be a lot of girl talk and stuff like that. I know in July, I'm still contemplating, because at the beginning of this year, I set myself a goal where I was like, for 3 months this year, I was gonna do 30 days of posting, and I have yet to do it. So I'm still contemplating if I'm gonna post every day in July, or if I'm gonna do August, September, and then November, or if I should just do July, September, then November, which I'm not gonna lie, that's what it's leaning towards. Yes, are you like going sleepover shopping, like for PJs and snacks? You know what? That's a good idea. Maybe I'll do that. Let me snapshot this. You gonna be in a video, Mika. Can I snapshot it? Okay, bet. Yeah, I just snapshotted that because I'm like, maybe I'll do that. I have plans for it. That's probably gonna be a 3 to 4 hour live whenever I do it. I just need to figure out what day I'm gonna do it. And it'll probably be at night more than likely, instead of me doing it during the day, because normally I do lives on normally I do live Saturday mornings, because it's easier for me, because I'm like, normally I'm not doing anything Saturday mornings. Jazz Gracie coming up subscribers on YouTube channel. Man, I've been stuck at 888, 889 for a minute. And I'm really hoping that I can get my I'm hoping I'll reach 1K by September, like the end of September. That's the goal anyways. But I do have reactions coming up. I am going to be reacting to Set It Off with Queen Latifah, Jada Pinkett, Vivica Fox, and I forget the other woman's name. But I am reacting to Set It Off. It's another movie I'm supposed to be reacting to, actually. But I don't know. I'll figure it out. I know I am going to be reacting to Moesha. I've recorded the episodes. I just have not edited. I just really need to go and start editing, which I'm probably going to just take most of today to edit, to be honest. I'm here for it. Yes. I will let y'all know when I do the sleepover episode. Get through it, Jazz. Sometimes it's like that with YouTube for sure. Yeah. You know, because, so obviously I do want to get monetized, but I want to focus on brand deals, but I'm like, my numbers are not where they should be. And that's why I was like, oh, I'm going to go over on TikTok. I don't know, bro. There's a period of time where I'm just freeballing. I'm trying to figure stuff out, but I would like to actually get some sort of sponsorship this year from somebody, or some sort of brand deal, And it would be nice if I get monetized this year, which I think I will get monetized this year, but I'm not exactly sure how it's going to go because I've been watching some of the I've been watching some of the people where they share how much they made in a month. And I'm not going to lie, watching some of those videos is kind of discouraging for me because I'm looking at it and I'm just like, y'all have this many views and y'all not making this much monies. And I assume it's because they're not actually manually putting their ads down. Because I noticed a lot of people are losing money by not manually adding ads themselves. So that's something that I'm going to look into whenever I do get monetized. I do have some videos that I'm going to be posting on my memberships already prepared whenever I get memberships. I'm not really expecting that many people to join my memberships to be completely honest, but I'm gonna try and see how that goes. But life about just figuring out for sure, right? Cause it's definitely given experimentation. I don't know. I'm just trying to figure out how to do certain things in a way that is not stressful or tiring for me. It is looking like July. I'm gonna probably post 30 days. I do have videos already planned that I know I'm gonna do. I think I'm missing maybe like 4 or 5 days worth of videos, but I think 2 of those days will be alive for sure, and then the other 2 I'm gonna figure something out. It might be a relationship dating topic because I noticed that a lot of people like my dating relationship chit chat videos more than any. Well, if we don't include the reviews and the reactions, that's like one of my top topics people like. But yeah. But what are y'all doing today for the rest of y'all day? I'm gonna try to stay on here for another 20 more minutes. And then I'm gonna hop off here. I was gonna say I'm gonna try to stay on here till for 3 hours, but I don't see myself doing that only because I went through all my topics. But what are y'all doing Saturday, Sunday this weekend? I know I'm gonna be hanging out with my mom and my baby brother tomorrow for a little bit. Because I haven't seen my mom since Mother's Day and I miss her. But but yeah. Oh, also, so I had this last night, the DiGiorno Rising Crust. It's the 3-meat one. It was actually pretty good. I was kind of surprised because normally I don't really care for, I don't know, normally I don't really care for DiGiorno crust. Like, I like the thin crust that they have, but I normally don't like their Rising Crust kind, but it was pretty good. I'm checking out the next episode, Lord of Mysteries, episode 2, went outside, get some fresh air earlier. What is Lord of Mysteries? I need to go outside to get some fresh air myself, but I also need to buy some sunscreen because I burn in the sun. So that's another reason why I don't like summer, because I actually do sunburn myself, and it is a very uncomfortable experience when I burn in the sun. So, new Chinese anime series out on Crunchyroll. You ain't said nothing but a word. Let me just snapshot that. Because I may watch that after I edit a video or 2 in a little bit. Clausen pickles are so freaking good, bro. I think that's like my favorite pickle, only because it reminds me of like the restaurant pickles. Yes, bruschetta is my favorite. I think they have these new, what are they called? I forget what they're called, but they have these new breads out. But they're in Kroger, I think. I think they're only in Kroger. But bruschetta pizza is so good. Whenever I get it, I always add stuff to mine. So I'll get like the basic pepperoni pizza, and then I'll grill up some chicken and some mushroom. And I'll put some bacon bits on it with some Parmesan. And that junk be so good. See, we like these. Because bruschetta is freaking good. And I like their bread. Like, I'm kind of picky with my pizza bread, especially when it's frozen, but I don't mind their bread at all. I know tomorrow we're supposed to be going to Coney Island because I haven't been to Coney Island in a minute. And I'm excited. Like, I don't know. We rarely eat food out. Like, we rarely get fast food like that because I'm normally cooking every day. But when we do, I'm so excited. Like, I know my favorite fast food places right now is Checkers. Culver's is always good, and Dairy Queen. Actually, those are always my favorite fast food places. Yes, adding stuff to mine as well. Best frozen pizza. It is. I'm surprised my dog being quiet. Because normally when I talk out here, he always making noise. But yeah, I'm about to get off in like 4 minutes. But I really appreciate y'all for talking with me. I had dog used to record videos at midnight. That's what I normally do. Or I'll put him in the office with my husband or whatever, because while I'm recording, all I'll hear is he'll just start smacking. And I'm like, bro, why do you do this whenever I'm recording? Or he'll start tip-tapping, like just standing on the wood floor, just staring at me. And I'm like, okay. Just rude. And me standing is a part of my workout at this point. I fell off. I worked out one day this week. And I was supposed to work out 2 more days. Did I? I did not. And I know I need to, because I know I'm out of shape, okay? There's no reason I should be getting winded going down some steps. Going up some steps. My dog used to bark sometimes. He only barks if he thinks I'm talking to somebody. I've never been in a relationship. Is that by choice? Or do you not go out to meet people? And that's why you've never been in a relationship, Jack. Because getting into a relationship can be hard. I'm not going to lie to you. It can be. Especially nowadays. Just meeting somebody decent is hard. I used to be really obese. I've lost the weight, and now I just feel like sexual attraction is all vain. I mean, I feel it. I know. I don't know. It's just, people see you face value, and when you first meet people, it's always about looks initially. And then, as you get to know somebody, that's when you become more, I guess, even more appealing. But I don't know, it's kind of hard to actually, I guess, date and people don't know what you look like, You're speaking truth. This is definitely a lot harder nowadays. It definitely is. Again, I don't know if the pandemic messed stuff up or what. I'm 34. It doesn't seem like the choices out there are worth it. I mean, move how you want to move. Whatever you feel comfortable and content with. I will say, do you get out the house, Jack? And put yourself out there to talk to different women? Like, I have to ask, because sometimes people will say, it's hard and it's not worth it, but it's like, I don't know, it's like if you aren't really getting out the house regularly, where you are in front of different people, where you can socialize, it can be difficult. I go out, but I don't approach women. Jack, what are you doing? Well, again, I understand the potential for rejection. Women don't want to be approached. Some women do. It just depends on the approach. Again, there's nothing wrong with trying, But I'm going to be honest, you'll probably have to try multiple times. Because dating is difficult. Like, don't get me wrong, there are a lot of women who don't want to be approached. But you may come across some women who do. It's just you have to be willing to potentially get rejected, to be honest. I really don't even know how to sugarcoat it, because you can't really sugarcoat it. That depends on women too, to be honest. Yeah, it does. I approach a woman if she looks like she wants me to approach her. So, I can understand that, but sometimes we be in our own worlds, so we may not even realize, a man is there, to be honest. Avoid ones that have headphones and earbuds. I agree. That is one thing. If a woman has headphones and earbuds, she does not want to be bothered. Does not. And if anything, if a man approaches you while you wearing headphones and earbuds, that's most women. I just thought about that. And maybe I never paid attention to that. Because you're right, a lot of women do have earbuds in. Well, go to events where socialization is there. Festivals. If you have a specific hobby that you like, go to those types of events where that hobby is present, because it's much easier to talk with people when it's in a sociable event. Most women are just on their phone. Yeah, but that's why you have to go to places where it's like, women being sociable. Jazz, learned my lesson 9 years ago. Lesson learned for me. It's definitely a live and you learn process when it comes to approaching people. Because I know, for example, even for me, the times when I approached men where I just would compliment them, I was very specific about the people that I approached. Like, I only approached people who had a welcoming face or, people who look put together in some sort of way, whether they were just wearing jeans and a graphic tee and it was like neat, or, just something simple, because it's like you do have to be careful about the people you approach. But I will say it depends on the approach as well. Because I'm trying to think of what I would do if I was a man. I don't even know. Like, I don't know. I would probably just walk up to them and be like, hi, I didn't want to disturb you, but I just wanted to say that I think you're absolutely gorgeous. And yeah, I know you're busy on your day, so, here's my number. I would probably just do it like that. That would probably be the easiest thing to do, is just be like, hi, I think you're beautiful. Here's my number. That way it gives them the option of, you could reject me just by not contacting me. Literally the easiest thing. Versus approaching them like, can I get your number? And I feel like a lot of women would probably prefer for a man to give them their number or their contact info versus them asking a woman, because a lot of women feel uncomfortable about that. This is true. That is true. What it's saying depends on approach. Yeah. But I think it's much easier if you just give your number as a man versus asking for the number. And then that puts the ball in a woman's court. And if she wants to call, she will call you. I mean, I wouldn't be just like waiting by the phone, but it gives you the option where you don't have to get rejected. It's like, yeah, you're beautiful. I see you're busy. So, I want to ask for your number, make you feel uncomfortable. So instead, here's my number. How do you feel about one's social media only instead of the phone number? You could put that, listen, okay, so this sound real, this sound mad insane, but if I was a man, what I would do is I would probably have like a card that I would make or something. I know it's crazy because not too many people have business cards, but I would probably be like, hey, you're beautiful. And I would give them the card, but it would have my number on there as well as specific social media I would be okay with them seeing on there. That way it's like if they wanted to, I would even say that. I'd be like, you look beautiful. I don't want to make you feel uncomfortable if you, don't want to give me your number. But if you do want to talk to me, here's my number. And then I have my social media on there if you don't feel comfortable giving me your number. I don't know. Something like that makes me feel like a woman would feel safe about that. Because it's like you giving them options. So like if, you want to talk to them on IG, or if you want to talk to them on Twitter, or I would say Facebook, but it's like, you could keep that on the card and then just give it to them, because that's like the easiest way where it's, they would feel comfortable like that. Reason as because it has been my issue lately. I completely get it, because before I did not like giving guys my number either. I would literally be like, hey, you want to talk to me? Add me on Facebook. Like, if you really want to talk to me, you can add me on Facebook. And then I would take it upon myself to decline their request later or something like that, because I did not like men I did not know having my number for real. But I will say it's easier, again, if you have a card or a sheet of paper or something and you jot it down or something. I feel like a card would be better, to be honest. But do that, because it's different. It's completely different. But yeah. Excuse me. Because again, what makes a lot of sense, to be honest. Plus, it does. Plus, because so this is the thing about phone numbers, right? Sometimes you can search somebody's number and you can find out a lot of information about them. So that's why a lot of women feel uncomfortable about giving their number out like that, because you just don't know what type of man you're dealing with. You really don't know. So social media seems like a safer option, which is why I'm like, I feel like it would be better if, you know, you had a card or something. What's it called? Vista print. Or you could even make like little blips of a card on a sheet of paper, cut them out. This sounds so drastic, but when you see them, you could easily just pull out the paper, be like, you know, here, and it could be as simple as that. Because, again, it's really difficult asking somebody for their number with how the internet is nowadays, because it's too much information that can be accessed at this point. So social media always seems like the best bet. Or sometimes people will even make Google numbers and stuff like that, which is very understandable. So to me, I'm just like, it's easier. Social media is so much easier. Plus, you can vet a person on social media as well. Although I'm sure people sometimes make fake social media accounts. But I feel like social media is a greater option. Social media is easier versus phone number. It is. And again, if you have the card, it's very much easy to just give it and go versus having to exchange info awkwardly. Like, oh, what's your IG or what's your Facebook? It's just like, give them a card and boom. And I feel like the card is different. So they gonna be looking at you like a man with a card. That's different. That's what I would do if I was a man, personally. Always, I'm not asking you for anything. I'm just like, you gorgeous. Here, babe. Go ahead and call me if you like what you see. That is literally what I would do, because that way you keep it short and simple. They could take the card. You don't have to worry about getting rejected. You don't have to worry about awkward interaction. It's very simple. And then if they want to, they will talk to you. But again, that's how I would do things to make it easier for me. Now, I will say, depending how many people you hand out a card to is where you would probably have an issue. Because let's say you've met multiple people in one spot. It's like, dang, I don't even remember what this girl looked like. She could be like, oh, remember you gave me this, your card in Kroger? Girl, I done given 3 girls cards in the past 3 months. I don't know which one you are. But if she on social media and she adds you on social media, it's so much easier because you can match the face to who it is that you asked for. Because most women are not going to contact you on your phone. What they would do is you give them the card. That way you don't have to worry about the awkwardness of it. And then, of course, because we women lurk, they probably going to type in your information on the IG or the Twitter, and they'll look. And then if they're interested, that's when they'll be like, okay, let me send him a message, or let me contact him that way, or let me add him as a friend. And then that way you'll know the face who you pursued originally. And it just makes it easier versus a phone call, because again, you may not be able to match the phone number to the face. If you only given a card out that has the your phone number and no social media on it. These are good tips. Man, listen, that's what that's what I would do if I was a man. Cause, and I would say I would do that too if I was single, but no, because then it's making me look like an escort. And it's different, completely different story. A woman could not get away with giving a man a card with her info on it, because it's like, you just be handing out cards to different men with your information on it. Girl, are you for the streets? But a man could get away with doing it where there's no problem. I want some cake so bad. I did buy some muffin mix, so maybe I'll make some muffins tonight. Maybe I will. I really want some chocolate cake so bad. Like that cake you posted on your threads, bro, when I tell you, I was over here like, I haven't had chocolate cake in years, but my reward for myself when I reach 1,000 subscribers was to get me some chocolate cake. Because I was like, I'm trying not to eat too much sweet stuff. Got a chance to check out a place called Cake Crumble. It's really good. Let me just snapshot that. Yeah. Because I'm going to probably check that place out myself. Because, like I said, I told myself when I reach 1,000 subscribers, I was like, I'm going to get myself some cake. Well, actually, I told my husband, I was like, as a reward, could you give me a cake and a new wig? So that's what my reward was going to be for when I reach 1,000 subscribers. And yeah. But I don't know. I really want some cake so bad. And I should have got a cake slice when I was at Kroger because Kroger actually has some really good cake. I've tried Walmart cakes before, but Walmart cakes are so freaking sweet, like overwhelmingly sweet. Or at least I remember, 2 years ago, I had got a caramel cake from Walmart for my birthday. And when I tell you that junk was freaking sweet. And it could have been because it was caramel. I enjoyed it, but it was just too much. And again, I don't know if it's because I'm getting older. My taste buds are very sensitive at this point in my life, and I don't like that for me. I really do not like that at freaking all. Place has a nice variety of sweets to choose from at Cake Crumble. Yes, Kroger, good cake facts. Yeah, like I absolutely love their bake section. Whenever I go to Kroger, I always look through there because sometimes they'll put out new stuff. And we'll go grocery shopping once a month, but then we'll go like to the fruit market, I think like twice a month maybe. But I just have to, I don't know, man. Like I said before, I was supposed to be working out because I'm out of shape. I'm not going to lie to you. I am out of shape. And I was starting this series and I was going to drop it like towards the end of July where I'm sharing like my workout progression and stuff, which I still might do it and I still might record my second episode tonight, but I just have no motivation. I really do. I have no motivation to work out for real. It just, and I know I need to get into the habit of doing it because the older I get, the more it's going to be an issue, like movement, mobility and stuff. So I'm like, I need to do something because I want to be able to be mobile as I get older and I don't want to have all these aches and cramps and stuff. Have you tried Kroger apple cinnamon chip cookie? Just snapshot that. I have not. I did not know that was a thing. But I'm about to try it. It's on my list now. Like, I really have to look through there because sometimes I'll look and I'm like, I'm seeing too much stuff and I just head out and I'm like, yeah, I need to focus on actual groceries because I'm going to end up buying things I don't need. I really wish I would have got some donuts. Like, one thing I will always love to get, but I try not to get them too often, is the donut holes. I love the donut holes so bad, but I could kill a whole box in like 2 days, especially if my husband ends up having some too. So I'm like, yeah, let me not get donuts too often. But I don't know, at one point in time, I thought about doing a workout live stream, but then I remember I visited, every now and again, I'll get recommended other people's live streams, and I ended up visiting live streams of other people who I didn't regularly follow, And I was looking at their chat or whatever, and I'm like, no, it's weirdos in here. So I probably would never do no workout live stream, or if I did, I just wouldn't name it as that. I would just tell y'all, like, yeah, I'm gonna work out my live, so that the people who normally interact with me would know that. Because I don't want no weirdos talking about, girl, you look good in them leggings. I'm gonna need you to get off of here, Albert. I'm gonna need you to pack that up because you're being weird. But anyways, enjoy donuts. Don't eat them as often. Yeah, because they definitely will pack on the weight. They definitely will pack on the weight. To be honest, I feel like my first initial weight gain can definitely be attributed to the donut eating. Donuts, bread, because I like me some bread. Also, wait, Ilblur, did you say you were allergic to seafood? Because I was about to ask you about Red Lobster, but I can't remember if you said you were or not. That makes sense, Jazz. Giving a unique title for live stream is smart. Yeah. You just gotta be mindful what you name your videos sometimes. But I was debating on going to Red Lobster to try their seafood boil. I don't really even eat seafood boils though. I don't know. Too much seafood make me nauseous. Yes, allergic to seafood. Right. Okay. I was trying to remember if that was you. Cajun chicken Alfredo is delicious. It is. Like, I love making it myself and putting some of the Slap Your Mama seasoning on that junk. Ooh, that junk be so good. Honestly, I would probably make that tonight, but I try not to have like bread pasta back to back to back. I actually don't know what I'm making tonight, to be honest. I may do something with sausage, maybe. Like, I got some beef sausage, so I may make like a fried rice stir fry with the sausage. I may do a Cajun fried rice with the sausage tonight, because that would probably be simple for me. Red Lobster is doing better now with the new CEO. Yes, it is. I'm telling you, they got a black man in charge, and he changes some things. I will say, because that was the first thing I thought of when they switched to CEO. Actually, no, before they switched to CEO, I was like, well, how come Red Lobster doesn't have a seafood boil? Because I'm like, that just made sense. I mean, it's Red Lobster. And then he did it, so I'm like, cool, because, again, that makes sense for Red Lobster. But I haven't been to Red Lobster in a minute. I think we went a little bit after, well, it was during the pandemic, but it was like, I think it was like 2021 we went and nobody was in there. But the service was great, like, because it was quick because nobody was in there. But hopefully they'll do better now. I still say it's so insane how people basically will S on Red Lobster. Because do y'all remember when they had, I saw the interview he did on Breakfast Club with new CEO. Kentel wanted to rebrand for Red Lobster. Right, he definitely did, because I remember I saw a few interviews with him myself, and he definitely said he was trying to change things to be more, I guess, current with the times versus trying to do stuff that they was trying to stick to in the past, like it was tradition. He was trying to be more innovative. But what was I about to say? I was about to say something. I can't remember. But I just know, oh, that's what I was going to say. So, do you remember on Twitter, and it was on TikTok too, when they were doing this thing where a lot of people were talking about how Red Lobster wasn't a good date spot, or they were talking about how the Cheesecake Factory wasn't a good date spot, and they had like a whole list of places that a lot of women said were not good places to take somebody out on a date. And I was just looking like, I remember when I was a kid or like a teenager, and Red Lobster was like high class at one point in time, where it was like upper class, where a lot of people, that was like a fancy restaurant at the time when I was a teenager. And then for some reason, people started saying, oh, Red Lobster ain't all that. And I'm like, where are y'all going? Cheesecake Factory ain't all that. I'm like, Cheesecake Factory is expensive. What are you saying? And I'm guessing because it was just so mainstream and common, because it was a lot of like it was an actual restaurant brand. That's why people didn't care for it. But I just don't understand that thought process, because I'm like, the food is good. Why is it a problem that you don't want a man to take you to Red Lobster or Cheesecake Factory? Why is that? Like, what is the actual reason why you don't want them to? Yeah, remember that list was wild to me. Some women were stuck up on Twitter. Yeah, like, I never understood why people said that they weren't good spots to go to, because I'm like, if somebody took me to Red Lobster, Cheesecake Factory, I'm gonna be eating real good, because you could get a lot of food for the price that you was getting. I'm like, that's a lot of money you spending. You definitely did get a decent amount of food. Red Lobster and Cheesecake Factory, decent places, to be honest. Yeah, like, I never understood why they basically was trying to play them like that. And then it was also the factor that, I understand potentially not wanting to go to a fast food place. I'm like, I get it. Unless you're like a specific age, like if you're a teenager and somebody want to take you to Dairy Queen for a date, I mean, you're a teen. You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, I'd be excited. Especially if it's the grill and chill that had the burgers, I would definitely be excited. Now, if you're a 20-year-old, 20-plus-year-old, and you want to go to somewhere else, because I remember they were talking about Applebee's too, and, I don't think there's anything wrong with Applebee's myself. I would have been okay with somebody taking me to Applebee's, but I know other women were like, why are you taking me here? But I'm like, I mean, if the food is somewhat decent and they paying for the meal, I don't see what the problem is. But it was a lot of people talking about that, and I don't know. People be picky. That's just like they was talking about Chili's, and then now everybody in Chili's. So it's like, I feel like the discourse was just extreme, and probably the people that was saying all this stuff was probably people that don't even go on dates for real. Like, don't ever really get out for real. Applebee's hit or miss, depends on the location. One, my city gotten a lot better. Yeah, it really depends, especially like, because sometimes I remember it was this one Applebee's I went to, and then it was trash. But then like 2-3 years later, I went back to it, and it was good. And I'm assuming they changed out the people who work there, or the people cooking in the back, because sometimes it's just they got the wrong person on the grill. But I don't know, the stipulations between what's good for a date and what's not good is always wild to me. And I just will never understand why people are very picky or like very uppity about the way they choose food and stuff like that. I don't know. It's just weird to me. But I do appreciate you for chatting with me and whoever else was in here. Whole new team at Applebee's. That is so true. Chili's not. I don't think I've ever had a bad experience at Chili's. For the most part, whenever I've gone to Chili's, it's always been good for me. But I know it just really depends, because I know Chili's, whenever they have their deals, because I feel like the one thing that Chili's does right is they appetizers, and they, what's it, the 3 for me, where it's $15, I think, for the whole meal. But it's like specific things, and then they have the drinks, and I know a lot of people go there for the margaritas and stuff. So I feel like if you got a good deal or a good sale, it's a great place to go. I will always love Chili's. Like, Chili's has always been good to me ever since I've known of that place when I was a kid. But yeah, I really do appreciate you, Will Blurred, Rose the Rundown, T Berries, Mika, Ariana. I think that was. I'm trying to think. I feel like that was almost everybody that was in here. I don't think it'll show me everything, but anyways, I appreciate y'all for joining my live stream. I'm about to hop off of here, edit some videos, eat some more food because I'm hungry. But I hope y'all have a great day. I will let y'all know when I go live again. I will make a community post for it. I will have some dating chit chat coming out next week. I'll have some reviews coming out. For the month of July, I'm going to try to do 31 days of posting, I guess. We'll see how that goes. And yeah, I hope you guys do well. I hope you guys have a great weekend. Stay blessed, stay positive. I'll be seeing y'all again soon. Bye.